This exercise is your oblique straight leg curls. So it does involve flexion of the spine, so unsuitable for osteoporosis and certain back problems, particularly disc-related back problems. So you're going to be lying on your back in a supine position with two straight legs. Now from here, I'm going to cross my right leg over my left leg. So I'm sitting with legs crossed. I'm going to clasp my hands, interlace the fingers and place them behind the skull with the elbows forward of the ears within my peripheral vision. So I'm going to get a little bit of glute connection and inner thigh connection. I zip up that tight pair of jeans, engaging my core. Take a breath in, and as I exhale, lift the head, shoulders, shoulder blades off the floor. So I'm just curling up in a straight line, peeling my spine off the mat, one vertebra at a time. Then I'm going to take my opposite hand, my left hand from behind the head, and place it onto the right thigh, which is on the top. And then I'm going to have a slight oblique twist, reaching towards the outside of the thigh without twisting the pelvis. So I've got to keep this left hip down as I reach across to the right. Okay. The other thing I've got to watch out for is that my head doesn't turn, okay, and my elbow doesn't move in or out. So remember, you're not moving the head, you're not moving the elbow, and you're not moving the pelvis. So the movement really is from the rib cage, what I call the steering wheel, just rotating. So the relationship between the ear and the elbow and the shoulder and the head remains the same. The rotation comes from here only, not because I'm turning the head or the elbow or the pelvis. So watch all of those things as you're moving across. So let me show you that again. Exhale, curling up, and when I get to a certain point, my hand leaves the head, reaches forward, and then I'm just going to try to get a little bit extra rotation without twisting my hips or my head or my elbow, and then gently reaching back behind the head again. So you're going, the repetitions are all to one side, because then you will change legs and you'll go to the other side. Now, if you prefer to keep both hands behind the head, that's absolutely fine for your repetitions. Just coming up and then gently back down. And you can do the usual bar concept formula, which is your full range movement, all the way up, all the way down, followed by your end range pulses. So you can support the head fully like this, or you can place one hand, and often that encourages a little bit more rotation, a little bit more movement here when the hand is here. But if the neck feels better with both hands here, then you can also do that option. Okay, Jasmine? So let's have you head this way, feet this way. That's it. And let's cross that right leg over the left leg. Okay, so legs nice and active, and the hands interlaced behind the head, elbows in front of the ears, just to take the weight of the head. Okay, so zipping up that tight pair of jeans, pulling in the core, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, just curl up head, shoulders, shoulder blades. And remember, we want to keep a little right peach between chin and chest so you don't break the delicate skin. Okay, so keeping that nice little gap here. Then reaching opposite hand to the top leg, over to the top leg, and it's just like I'm kind of pulling Jasmine up in that diagonal line, reaching up a little bit further, and just place the hand on the thigh just so you can kind of slide up. That's it. Pressing this opposite hip down so it doesn't roll and follow, and then let's go up an inch and down an inch, up an inch. So again, it doesn't look like much, but remember, end range movement is where all of the work occurs. So remember, that last 20%, you're probably doing 80% of the work, whereas your full range repetitions are much, much easier. And then gently release and come down. Let's cross the opposite leg over. That's it. Now I'm going to keep both hands behind the head if extra neck support is needed, if it just feels better. Take a deep breath in, engage pelvic floor, belly button, pull up those leg muscles, curl up, keeping that gap between chin and chest. And just imagine a sellotape here, just stretching from the breastbone down to the pubic bone. So trying to keep as much length in that sellotape, try not to crunch and keep that long torso. And just rotate from the rib cage. Remember, don't over rotate. It's a real small rotation. That's enough. And then it's about the height. Up an inch, down an inch. And really pressing this opposite hip down. And you'll see both elbows are the same. She hasn't turned her head or moved this elbow or this hip across. Yes? So you're just watching out for all of those things and then gently release back down. So this is an alternative variation for the lying down version with 2 straight legs. So just have both knees bent, hands interlaced behind the head, curl up as you were doing before, take the hand off, place the fingertips on the opposite thigh and just slide the fingertips up an inch and then down an inch. So keeping the knees bent, so it might place the pelvis in a better position. Exhaling up, inhaling down. So exactly the same movement as you had with the straight legs. But if it feels less awkward or the pelvis feels more grounded in the neutral position with the knees bent, then that would be a suitable alternative. But again, not for osteoporosis and not for certain disc-related back problems.